tiered backlinks best practices and why? Um, so we actually talked about this on one of our recent live streams, but I guess you didn't see it. So for Nick and I are not really very big on tiered link building. I think you would get much more out of your time and effort if you just focused on building more quality backlinks directly to your website. Um, People don't like this answer because it means they can't use auto-generated, low-cost, spammy stuff, which is generally why people want to do tiered link building. But if you were just to, instead of doing this, if you would spend some time on learning how to do some outreach or learning how to automate it better, or if you want to do it yourself so you can save money or whatever, I just feel like it would be end up working out a lot better for you, and you'd have like this another skill which would be um, could move forward with you into the future, as backlinks are just so important. Will probably get more important as time moves forward with all this AI content. Now everyone's going to have the same great AI content, so it's going to come down to backlink outreach perhaps to see who's going to rank the highest. But anyway, back to tiered link building. We do some tiered link building, but we just don't, it's not like a core part of our strategy. Well, I guess you could say it's somewhat of a core part, but not what you think it's going to be. We generally tend to maybe do a little tiered link building to your main social properties. So for example, your YouTube channel, your Instagram profile, your Twitter profile, your Facebook business page, stuff like this. I think these are really good tiered link targets because not only are they have a link from a high authority site going to your website, but they're also very natural link targets, right? So if you're actually active on these channels, it would make sense that some people link to them from time to time as well. You could also power up some stuff, like if you have like a really nice guest post or something, or a really nice horror link you landed, or just whatever, a really nice editorial link, you could try to power these up a bit. But in general, that's pretty much what we're doing with tiered link building. And then as far as what we're using to do them, you know, we what we would say is that Google is pretty good at detecting spam. They can detect it for multiple tiers back. And so that when you're doing tiered link building, while you could definitely use some cheaper links, I wouldn't go the super spammy black hat route. We've got like our barrage niche edits or our bulk level 1 packs, which I think are live now. Can't even remember, Jesus. But these are great tools for this because they're just lower cost niche edits. They're lower authority as well, but they're good for kind of powering stuff up while still being natural. You could throw in a PBN from time to time. Yeah, niche edits, PBN. Or you could even do some like low quality guest posts, maybe even some guest post farms, but still, basically when you're doing your tiered link building, you could knock it down a little bit as far as quality goes when you're building links directly, but at the same time, I wouldn't knock it down too far, and I would say best practice is just to build somewhat similarly to how you'd build your own site. And then as far as like anchor text and stuff, just make sure it makes sense. You already know the rules of anchor text. Use the same rules when you're linking to your tiered targets, branded URL, generic anchors. You can do some exact match, whatever. Just make sure it makes sense. Make it natural. You don't need to go too crazy. You could even go more natural since you're using kind of lower quality links to do your tiered stuff. You could even go more natural on your anchor text, just so it's not even a bigger red flag, essentially. Yeah. What do you got on this, Nick?
Okay, so first off, yeah, like Chris said, we are not like, especially in comparison to somebody we interviewed, Craig Campbell, he does like to spam tiered backlinks using GSA and stuff like that. And if you know how to use that stuff, maybe that's something you want to try and get away with, fine. I wouldn't call it best practice unless you really know what you're doing. He seems very confident. If you want to watch that um, podcast that we did with him, but I don't think he gives actionable advice on it other than to find really clean spam essentially that you can use, and that takes a pretty keyed in eye. Tiered or best practices for tiered backlinks that I would say we do is every few months, like this is about as crazy as I get with it, is every few months I'll go in and I'll tier links to higher end links that I've had. And I won't do a whole lot, maybe like one or two links to um, different posts that have kind of been around for a little while. I'll use either long tail anchors based on what I was using that guest post. So if the topic of the guest post was like best dog toy, then I would make the tiered anchor something like this article about dog toys, something like that, right? And what you don't want to do with tiered links. Oh, okay, so yeah, like Chris said, you can use niche edits, the lower end stuff. You can use guest post lower end stuff, a PBN here and there, but don't get too crazy with it. What you don't want to do is use stuff like blog comments or anything that wouldn't be natural to have pointing at a inner page and that is really cheap and spammy. Google's going to be able to read 3-4 tiers back, right? It's not like you're well hidden here. So don't go spending a lot of money on good tier 1 links and then spamming them out with tier 2 links unless you really know what you're doing. But then even when you know what you're doing, know that at some point in time later on, it can have adverse effects. So longevity is something that we always preach here. Those would be best practices. And then another thing is one of the reasons that I like to tiered link, especially up front to things like social profiles, or like I said earlier, even maybe like some branded Web 2.0s would be so that you control the SERP for your particular brand. And sometimes getting started, that might not seem like a big deal. But over time, if you do grow a brand, there's going to be people trying to parasite off what you're doing. I would say you want to control that. And especially if you are your own brand, then, having your name and then your brand's name all well insulated by having higher powered Facebook, YouTube, and different assets like that in your SERPs, definitely doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I guess I'll just reiterate one more time. Like Nick said, we talked to Craig about this, and there's some, more black hat people who like to just completely spam things out. But it's definitely not what we do. And I just feel like the majority of people would be much better served on just trying to learn how to do everything well. And so instead of trying to learn how to like cut as many corners as you can, like learn how to do it well, like learn how to make good content, learn how to actually have really good technical SEO, learn how to build actually good backlinks. Like learn how to do all of these things, and you're gonna have such like an incredible skill set that it's almost like hard not to make money on the internet. So, I see a lot of this like really low end, kind of like black hat, low energy stuff as just kind of a waste of time, and it's just not what we do. I'm sure there are some people that are using it to success or whatever, but if you want to talk about building up websites that you're going to be able to resell, or working on actually like bigger projects that you want to actually generate, we're even talking like 7-figure companies, right? Like making over $1 million a year on a website. When you're talking about like big stuff like this, if you want to get to that level, you need to learn how to do these skills versus trying to shortcut all the time, essentially. Yeah, this is kind of what our approach is. Longevity, trying to have as little problems with the algorithm in the future, building stuff to last, building stuff that you can sell without buyers freaking out because your link profile is just complete garbage. It's just what we're interested in. Anything else, Nick?
Nope, all good.
Oh, you got really quiet. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.